Hey everyone, welcome to Second Sight Tarot, a branch of wellness. I'm here to do the monthly reading for the sign of Aquarius for the month of June 2021. I've already meditated on the cards, and please remember that this is a general reading, so it may not resonate with everyone. Please take what does and leave the rest. I'm doing the element spread, current situation, how we can move through this through intellect and communication, the emotions that you can connect and or release from this, and the outcome. So I pulled a couple of overall energy of the reading, and we're going to get into that, but I'm going to pull a couple cards first just to get the reading ready, and I will get started. I hope you're well. I hope the month of May went well for you. Transformative in some way. I'm going to do that again because I was talking. I guess it wants to be out. Bottom of the deck, growth. I think every sign is growing right now. Overcoming limitations, realizing that you can grow. You have the ability to overcome anything and still have this growth spurt, regardless of any storm or anywhere where you're feeling emotional or feeling kind of blocked or stuck. Just from the energy of when I was doing a meditation to connect with this. I don't know, I just feel like it's all about perspective and your perseverance right now with how you're going to flow through this, whatever the situation may be for the month of June. And just realizing that no matter what, you are being held, you're divinely guided, and also it's okay to have these stormy experiences because there's still a lot of growth within that, if that makes sense. I mean, we're going to clarify, but I just feel like it's a matter of perspective here, and I feel like that's across the board with all the signs so far that I've done this month. It's a very interesting kind of energy. And gratitude. This is the one that fell out in the beginning. Appreciate present blessings. And this is also about just being present and not trying your best not to connect with fear because that's in the future, and kind of thinking about past constantly because that's in the past. It's about, really feeling grateful for what you have and being present, and simplicity is key here. So, and nature, which is all about being present as well. So I'm just going to do one more round and then we can get started. Crystal, move it out of the way. Growth again. Whoa. Now they're flying out. There we go. These usually fly out. Very similar cards across the board with most of the readings that I've done. Maybe not in the same position, but in the bottom of the deck, you have the unexpected. This is kind of full moon energy, or moon energy, just like I feel like there's a comfortability or there's a vulnerability in this card of just kind of foreseeing the future and kind of not knowing, there's a mysterious aspect of not seeing the future, but kind of seeing it ahead, of kind of, just a little bit ahead and being okay with it, and they're sitting there topless and kind of holding themselves like this and leaning on each other. So there's a vulnerability there. There's an exposure there, but it's still this comfortable, calming ease with the unexpected, whatever that looks like for you. And a sense of peace that comes along with it. You have the peace card, which I was feeling anyway with this card here. And it's also a 7, and 7s are all about gaining experience or having experience in this, or learning something new in this experience. So It's about the journey, not the destination. I like to say that a lot because it's true, and that's what comes out on these cards a lot. So, all right. So the overall essence, a lot of cards came out all at once, and I decided to keep them just because that's kind of the energy that I was feeling when I started this. So I do think you have a lot of powerful change coming in, and it's not only like unwilling. I think you have been doing a lot of work, and I see that you're kind of in this space of a major shift or transformation. So I love these cards. So this card came out with a lot of different readings this month. 3 is also for creativity, but it's beginnings and just really igniting. It's kind of, this reminds me of kind of like the Olympics when they light the torch from that universal light, or the light that stays lit all the time. That's kind of the essence I'm getting here. It's kind of like this universal or this cosmic kind of beginning, spiritual illumination, spiritual lighting, in a sense of this new beginning. It's very spirit driven. That's the feeling I'm getting, and you're kind of lighting this from something that has been like this ancient light or this ancient wisdom. It's not something new feeling to me. It's something that has kind of already been there, and now you're reconnecting with it. So, but it is a new beginning for where you are right now in your period, and you are seeing it differently because of where you are right now. So it is a new beginning and a new path, but it's coming from a deep place of knowing and this like deep sacred wisdom within. And then Endurance, the rock. I love this card because it just shows that how strong you really are, and how resilient you are, and how magical life can be, that you can hold space for yourself and be your own rock, and within nothing you are sprouting into this beautiful soul and entity. Like there's a rock, it's just a rock at this top of a mountain, and a tree is growing from that, or grew from that. So meaning there is an endurance and a resilience that you have to keep going. And I just feel like there's this ambition inside of you, and I feel like nothing's going to stop you. That's the kind of feeling that I'm getting here, because it's something that's already in with you. You already know this, and you want it back again. It's also a 2 or 20, which means there's a lot of decisions, a lot of choices that you're making right now. So just to keep that in mind, and hopefully it'll come out during the reading about what those choices are, or how to be a little bit more clear on those choices. So the play card came up for me. This reminds me of the 3 of Cups too, just because there's three crows here, and they're playing in water, so the 3 of Cups. But this is about like maybe lightening up the load a little bit and having a little bit more fun, and appreciating your friendships, and having a little bit like celebrating, whatever you want to celebrate. This year and a half has been really tough for a lot of people. Enlightened, there's an enlightened space with that too, but it's been tough in a lot of other scenarios. And what's to come is kind of scary. So I just feel like the sense of doing so much work that you're in right now in this space, and what you're going to encounter in June, just to have a little bit more fun. And if you're on the East Coast, it's summer coming, and I think there's a little bit more possibility, and things are changing and kind of finding the new norm here. So maybe you can have a little bit more fun with that kind of energy. You also have territory. I'll show you the card, and then I'll look into it a little bit. To me, this is kind of, I get 2 things. I'm reading this intuitively because it's just literally a picture, and there's like 2 sides of this. It's almost like mirrored image, and or reflection, I should say. What I'm feeling from this is that I don't know if this is a great thing, or if this is just something that needs to be noticed or acknowledged, but I feel like there's a sense here of trying to mimic or trying to duplicate what life was for you. It doesn't have to be pandemic related. It could be, though. It's possible. But there's a sense of like, this is my territory, and I'm kind of guarding it, and I don't want it to change. and you're trying to duplicate that in this moving forward, this path or something, whatever situation is going on, or just your day-to-day now with like post, we're still in pandemic, but you know what I'm saying, post last year. I just see this like kind of mimicking or like duplicating it or trying to duplicate it to feel comfortable and safe. And kind of what I'm feeling here is that there's a lot of decisions and choices that you need to make that might shift this into something different. So what I'm seeing here is a sense of being okay with not having expectations and being okay with something changing that you're not comfortable or familiar with. Because I feel like you're kind of guarding your territory, which is fine. This could be house related. This could be many different aspects about territory, but I just see like this mirrored image of like having a territory and having it be the same for you in this new form to feel comfort and to feel safe. So I don't know what that means. I usually don't pull clarifiers on those, but excuse me, it might come out in the reading. We'll see. And then the tarot, this is the White Witch Tarot, the Judgment card came out. So I think there's a lot of choices that you have. You have a few cards that I've pulled that are all about choices. Making amends with the past, maybe. Current situation, it could be internal stuff, just dealing with your own self. It could be with other people. Making amends with like past mistakes and forgiving them by choosing to make new choices in your life, a new start. But this is about, this is about making amends with yourself and or someone, if this is about somebody. And this might be if it's about protecting your territory or your space, and trying to duplicate that because you've had to move from that situation. I don't know. But you have this sense of endurance and this new beginning. So I'm thinking there's like a fresh start, starting over, really making amends with your past and all of the mistakes or, lessons learned. I don't like to say mistakes, but and having a lot of choices to make, or a choice to make. So that's the overall on that. And then I didn't want to pull all of these cards out for the overall essence, but they literally came out as a packet. So I decided to keep it and we can see if it resonates. So I feel like I'm going to start up here because this is the one that's a little bit. So you got the Ace of Wands in reverse, and I'll show you the upright. So I just feel like there is maybe a distraction or a delay in shifting something here. There's I don't know. I feel like there's a not having a direction of where you want to go, and maybe this is about the choices that you have to make. Maybe you're kind of like distracted because or with something, or there might be a delay because you really don't know what direction to take. It's not a horrible place to be in. It's just really making sure you're comfortable with the choices that you're making, and that's totally understandable. You have the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands are all about perseverance. You're really putting in the work here. You're really determined to move forward in this path. You have a lot of endurance, and that's literally both of these cards are very similar when it comes to that. There's a commitment here that you've made and you're sticking with it, and even if there are delays and you haven't made a decision, you're really determined to make this work, whatever the situation might be. So it's a really beautiful space to be in. Confusing and, sometimes directionless, but it will come together when it's ready to come together, and that's okay. You have the Six of Swords here, and the Six is like, this is a lot of transformation for you. She's being led by the crows there, and I think you're moving on from a situation. I think that you want a change of scenery maybe, and you're just kind of trying to do, and this is interesting because of the territory card. Maybe you are trying to get out of this and make shifts for some of you because you're tired of the change of, you just need something different. You know, you've made this copy of what was, and you're just like, maybe I want to make a different decision here, but just don't know how. And this is what's safe, so I'm going to do this now. And then you have this energy of just like, I want a different scenery. But there's a lot of hope here, and there's a lot of recovery from whatever situation, or from the past year and a half. And there's this, I feel like you're in transition mode with this card. And then you have the King of Cups, and this is the last one that came out of the group. I do think there's an acceptance and a stability that you have now moving forward. You know, you've accepted the circumstances, and you're kind of just like, I just want to do some shifting and some navigating to something new here. I feel like you feel very, there's a lot of stability, or trying to create stability here. But I feel like there's this calming demeanor of you here, and this confidence and this like illumination that has happened with this peace and this calming effect here. So I think you're doing it with this elegance now, and this acceptance. So those are the energies. Moving on to the current situation. I'm going to put this over here. Make space. Okay. So what I've pulled here is the Star in the reverse. I'll put it in the upright so you understand, or so you can see it. So the Star in the reverse is an absence of faith, or like having, like not feeling hopeful for, you know, the future or whatever the situation may be. You don't need to see it up in the reverse, but I'll show you for a second. So, I don't know. I just feel like I feel like there's maybe something that's still kind of conflictive in your heart here, and you're just like kind of a transition state. Like I said before, I think there's like this holding pattern until you make a decision. There's like maybe some distraction there because there's not this choice that you need to make, and there's just like no direction there, or feeling directionless. So maybe this is that kind of energy of not hopelessness, but you know, there's just not that spark of having like faith or hopeful for the future, or really looking ahead to thinking of like long-term planning here. I think there's just like, you're at a standstill until you make a decision or a choice. So although there's a lot of growth happening here for you. Forgiveness and set yourself free. This is the card that came out twice, and then I put it back, and then it came out again. So I don't know if there's forgiveness in with yourself, with the whole, if it's about planetary stuff, forgiveness for what's happening, or someone that you have to forgive. But there's a sense of healing here, and I think until you maybe work on this forgiveness a little bit, or at least tap into it enough to understand it, maybe that will help you have some hope, and start to like really look in, just the star energy of having a little bit more faith for the future and looking forward, and maybe not having so much conflictive energy internally. And I think this is something that maybe you are working on right now, because there is a lot of change happening for you, and a lot of decision making and choices and all this kind of stuff. So you have the Growth card, which is a 5, which is all about change. And it's really, I love her. She's wrapped around the planet, rooted like a tree. I love this card. It's one of my favorite ones, and it comes out a lot, especially this year. I think this is also about being patient with the process, because growing and shifting and changing and making decisions, it doesn't have to happen overnight. It's when, don't want to get stagnant in a situation because you can't make a choice, but allow the space of growth to happen in each step up that you take, So it could be slow and steady. It doesn't have to be like this major shift. I think this rooting process in the world that she's growing around, it's like very slow and steady and grounded and earthly. Like some trees take really quick to grow, but most trees take a very slow and steady growth, because they're rooting themselves, and I think that's kind of where you are right now. It's like there is a lot of growth happening, but right now you're in this underground system. You're not, this reminds me of this tree. So I do feel like you've sprouted and you're stable and you have this endurance here already. But I think that right now the work that you're doing is underground. It's underneath. It's subconscious stuff. It's not so much going to be seen on the external right now. It's more of this inner work and grounding into the, like really rooting and grounding that way and growing in the roots. I saw this meme once on, I don't know if it was Facebook, some social media platform, and it was, I forget exactly what it was, but it was just like, I haven't changed in so much. I haven't seen any shifting. And he didn't realize like all of the roots have grown like so far down, and he has done so much work, but he hasn't seen it with his own eyes. So he believes that he doesn't have any growth. And I forget what other creature or something underground saw it and was just like, you're doing so much work. You just don't see the fruits of your labor. There are no fruiting, there's nothing fruiting off your tree yet because you're doing all this inner work, this subconscious stuff. So that's kind of what I'm feeling from this. So I'm going to pull a couple cards on it. These always want to jump out at me right off the bat. What more? Star and reverse this. Thank you. We are the world. That's so funny because I was literally just talking about the world. And about how you're rooting yourself around it and really being grounded and connected. And this is a 10, all about reaching a goal or completion of something. So maybe that you are in this state and this is kind of like the goal here, or you're starting to sprout externally. Maybe you are starting to see some changes here for some of you, but there's a sense of like unhatching, like an egg in a nest kind of energy that I'm feeling here. And really connecting with universal consciousness. And universal energy. This is on I did say that in the beginning, this is exactly what I was feeling actually, about how it's not a new connection to yourself. It's very ancient, it's very ancestral, and it's just like kind of like dipping your candlestick or your torch in the light that's already lit. So that's kind of the energy that I'm feeling from this card. It's exactly what I'm feeling. And I do think there's like new opportunities here for you. And there's a lot of evolving. But it's on a deeper, more connective consciousness than just like just your I am, me, the I. So very cool energy here. That went with the star. So I'm gonna pull one more for the group. Or you know what? I'm gonna do forget it. Yes, please. So it's the Lovers, and it was in the reversal, but I kind of just grabbed it that way. But this is overcoming obstacles and having perseverance. Maybe there's a lover or a past relationship or a friendship or this divine union with yourself that you have to forgive. So maybe this is related to, I pulled this on the forgiveness card, so that's why I say that. But maybe there's a love relationship that didn't work out, or a past lover that, there's something that keeps coming to the surface, or a relationship, doesn't have to be a lover, but just some kind of really connected relationship that you had that needs some forgiving. So this could be any kind of emotional relationship. Could also be with yourself. So there's a little forgiveness there, and kind of maybe that's what you're doing right now. You're healing and you're growing a lot from that situation. possibly. Okay, moving on into how you can move through this through intellect and communication. The world again. Well, I thought of this as we are the world, but this is the wheel. You have the world card. And the world, this is all about fulfillment. And this is, like I said, this is about communication and intellect here. So there's a lot of success, a lot of achieving. Maybe there's a lot of change and shifting and accomplishment here in the way you articulate things and the way that you communicate now, or you are starting to, or you will start to do this in June. Maybe some of this healing has opened you up to start talking about things a little bit more and really feeling good about it. Feeling like you've really achieved some of the goals that you've set out for yourself, and how you share information, how you perceive things. There's really a sense of feeling proud of yourself and accomplished with this. It's a cool place to be for the way you're communicating. I love this card when in this position. It's coming in very strong of a sense of like, and you also have the surrender card, and they kind of go hand in hand to me because it is about surrendering and releasing, just releasing this energy so you can really, understand it more, feel free to communicate it more, release it from your body, because this is about communicating and how you process stuff. So, you're feeling really good about it here. And this is, the surrender card is an 8, and it's all about these obstacles and blockages that you had, and really working through them now. And the way to do that is just to release them and just give in and release that kind of energy. It doesn't really serve us to hold that stuff, especially when you're forgiving somebody and you're holding and we're blaming and we're kind of, I'm not saying you are, I'm just saying in general, like how humans are, holding on to that, and our cells hold on to that. And we can't really move forward without this process of forgiveness and feeling solid and secure and confident and all that kind of stuff that the world was saying, because there is a sense of fulfillment here because you feel good about releasing this kind of stuff, hopefully, if I'm reading it right. And intensity, passion, and power, the energy card. So this isn't how you articulate it. So I just think there's like a momentum here, or there's a fire lit about sharing what's going on with you here and how you perceive things. I think there's just a lot of energy based around it. I'm going to pull a card of that. Energy, please. I feel like you're kind of stepping out into your own, away from the herd. You're kind of standing in your own power. And you're realizing that, you have this power and the strength to like be yourself and be your own and not just go with the herd. This could be pandemics related. I don't know. I think it's more individual, like more personal. And I just see you standing in your power right now. And, or at least in this position in June, you're kind of in that growth spurt right now of what's going on. But, and this is just a sense of conditioning. And I think you're breaking out of that. And this surge of like inspiration, energy, and endurance, like this ambition is coming out of you to kind of do something different, or shift within all of this energy. Something shifts. So, sorry, I was trying so hard to get that out. Sometimes I have to keep talking in circles for like the actual information to come out. So good for you for standing in your power and breaking from that conditioning. The world, please. So you have the mother, or Earth Mother, which is the Empress. And the Empress is this is about nurturing yourself, going through a really big growth spurt here, learning a lot about yourself, planting seeds, for fertility. This this could mean having a baby or being pregnant, but I think this is just birthing new ideas, new concepts, new energy, this energy that's kind of growing inside you now. Excuse me. Also being very creative in the way that you do these things now and move through this. But I think that really communicating this in a different way and releasing some of this stuff that you've been holding back and actually talking about things and connecting and telling people how you feel, I think this is going to be really, really healing for you, and a very big growth opportunity for you. And you have the crafty, which is about being creative here. I think it's just finding new ways to bring in information from other people, really listening to people, being discerning, really hearing people, hearing yourself, talking to the universe, really connecting, writing it down, talking to a therapist, whatever way you need to release this. I think it's going to be really healing for you, because the surrender card is more about like literally just like releasing this crap and just like letting go of this control, in a sense, if it is control, and just, you know, opening up, freeing the space to kind of heal, you know, have that extra space that you have just released all those things, have that extra space to take in new things and like really expand from that. So I'm going to pull another clarity card here. One more. The Sun. So you are really there's a lot of manifestation here. You know, this could be magician energy. You're kind of retraining the brain, retraining your way of communicating here, really manifesting energy. I love the Sun card for you here. It's such a nurturing, you know, between that and the Empress, there is a lot of growing, nurturing, healing time for you right now. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And this is a lot of energy. A lot of masculine energy too. A lot of doing and shifting and fire, and it's really nice energy. You also have the Void card. Where is that? Did I not see it? Oh, here it is. I don't know. Maybe this could mean a couple different things. This could be not willing to see something that needs to move through. For some of you, this could be specific. Or really going within and closing your eyes and doing like more of what my body feels like, how I'm feeling, connecting with emotions more than just what you're seeing and what you're experiencing with the senses. Really heightening the other senses to move through this. It's part of, I guess I could connect this to the surrender card of just like experiencing this like energy exchange with the universal energy, and you've already had that come up a few times. But there's a sense of really going inward during this, and what does this feel like to you? How does it make you feel when you do this? How does it make you feel when somebody does this to you? And really connecting to your emotions that way, and like literally communicating this, whether it's in a journal to someone, a therapist, or a tribe, doesn't matter, to the universe, just talking out loud, but literally just getting it out. But for those of you who it is about just like not wanting to see things, maybe it's inviting you to kind of open your eyes for the opposite of what I just said. Opening your eyes and just seeing things for what they are and not just what's going on internally, if you're the opposite of what I said. I'm not sure. In the way you can, or the emotions you can connect and or release from this, you have the Resistance card here. So maybe there's some emotions or some past trauma or something that you're holding on to that you're not ready to let go of here. It's also a 5 and a 2, which is experiencing, a 7, experiencing or gaining, knowing or gaining information here, or experiencing something new, or it's inviting you to experience something new by releasing the grip of things that you're holding on to. We're going to tie that all together because I'm just noticing here in the well, let's go with the Hangman first. You have the Hangman in reverse. And this is all about resisting what is. And that's why this card and this card is very similar. It's resisting change or resistance. You're holding on. There's something that you're struggling with here, or a sense of impatience maybe of doing some work. Like maybe you're just like not patient enough to go through the process. Like this is doing some work, but it takes time to really connect and work through stuff that's coming up, and it just doesn't happen like that. Sometimes it'll be a spontaneous quick thing, but for the majority of the time it's digging, it's doing the work, it's connecting with that and waiting for it to come up, and it's a long process, and it's about having patience maybe. And not resisting what the situation is. And, maybe there's a struggle within that about, not having enough patience. I don't know. It's kind of what I'm seeing there. And then you have the Temperance, which is like interesting because it's like the opposite of that. It is about, this Temperance is all about harmony, balance, integration here. Blending all of the things that you have learned and all of these things together, blending the elements together. And I think this is more about integration here. Like, it's not asking you just to be like one way or the other way. It's kind of doing things on your own pace and slowing it down and having patience. Like, to me, this is kind of relating to a sense of crowding out when it comes to changing your diet. I do health coaching, and I feel like sometimes instead of saying like, don't take this out of your diet, take that out of your diet, don't do this, you have to change your diet completely. That doesn't work for anybody. And unless they're like ready to, like somebody who's ready to quit smoking versus trying to quit smoking, it's like you have to be willing to be in that space, and it's very hard if you're not. So what I mean by crowding out is like still do the same things, but little by little you add in something really healthy and good. Little by little you add in new tools and new ways of dealing with emotions. And eventually you will crowd out all of those things that don't work for you anymore, the way you process your emotions, or the way you sit with them or not sit with them, right? So this is saying like integrating this is kind of like crowding out. You just kind of slowly add new tools and new concepts and new ways of the way that you're learning through this healing process. And eventually you will shift so many things on the way you connect with your emotions, the way you process emotions, the way you hold trauma in the body. You'll shift this without even realizing the work, because you do it little by little by little. And that's about having patience with the Hanged Man here, so that's kind of what I'm getting from the Temperance card, and having this calming demeanor too, this being calm about it, and your wish is coming true. Celebrate your success. I do think that you're so close to really shifting something here, or at least starting the process for some of you. You've found this treasure within, and the sacredness, the sacred wisdom that I said in the beginning. I know you have this. Like, I feel this so much in your reading, and just knowing the backstory of Aquarius a little bit, it's like I feel like it's just like really coming home to your gems. It's not finding something new. This is who you are. Just about coming home to yourself here. So there's a patience that needs to be had there, because it's not like you're looking for something new. It's just like opening up little tiny crevices little by little until you just crack open and you just find your treasure chest, And it's corny, but I just saw it in the picture. So that's kind of what I'm inviting you to do, just from what I'm seeing. Excuse me. In the how you move through this to the final outcome here in the end of June, you have the Two of Wands. I like the Two of Wands for you, because this is now that you're really sitting with these choices here, and you're looking at the options that you have. And you have the world in your hands now. You've had the world, like you have the world here. You're rooting yourself here, right? Here you're really connecting with universal consciousness around the world. Here the world, you literally have the World card. So there's a sense of universal consciousness here, and universal webbing in a sense for you. Here you're holding it now. You've made a decision, or you have choices now. There's a lot of potential for you. You're taking initiative here. You're planning. You're seizing opportunities that are coming up for you, and you're looking ahead, but you're holding it with such elegance here and such grace and such confidence because you believe in that potential now. You've grown, you've connected with it, and now you've embodied this energy of the world. You're not rooting around it. You're not holding it like this. You're actually connecting with it and holding it tight. So, this is about making choices. Twos are making choices, coming at a crossroads and making decisions. But if you're down to two choices, let's say, it doesn't matter which one you take. They all lead to the same thing, just different experiences. So don't get stuck in this energy because it doesn't matter which road you take as long as it's moving forward, And you also have the self-reflection. You are self-reflecting here. You're looking ahead, you're planning, you're really standing in your ground here. You're looking at your life, you're looking at the potential and what life has to offer you. Let me show you this again. This is also an 8, which is all about obstacles and blockages and seeing those things clearly, looking at them in the face, connecting with your intuition, connecting with your emotions, and working around those blockages and those obstacles now because you're actually facing them head on. You're looking at them. And you're doing it with a sense of peace and a sense of holding space for yourself now. Really great energy moving forward at the end of June. And having guidance, you are divinely guided. I did say this in the beginning. I don't feel like you're doing this alone. I think this is older energy that you've already known, you've already connected to. And this whole reading is about universal consciousness and connecting to this global web, I feel like. I feel like this is not a single, a lone journey. I think that this is everyone is on this journey. You're not alone, and you're guided by this. The soul is guiding you, and the soul knows best. Your soul knows best what's for you. So I think this is an amazing place to be here. Amazing space, amazing outcome. It is a lot of work. It's not easy, but this is not saying this is what it is. It's your choice to pick and choose what works for you in this and let it guide you. This is just tarot coaching, and I'm going to change my name to tarot coaching because it's more than being psychic and all that stuff. This is just guidance here. You choose your road and your path. It's just showing you or reminding you that it's okay to do that. Two ones. Okay. So on the self-playfulness, again, I feel like this card and this one, there's a sense of energetic release here, freeing you up, releasing some of this heaviness and this responsibility, and knowing that it's okay to release and just let be and kind of surrender, to release some of the heaviness. You don't have to do it alone because you are guided, and it's just having some more fun. So it's reminding you again to have some more fun. And this is for the Two of Wands completion. So I think that there is like the last puzzle of the last piece of the puzzle here for you, and you are coming to the end of a cycle, starting a new one in here when you're starting to make a new choice here. You've completed all of this work, and now you're choosing like the next step in your life, and it doesn't matter which way you go because it's divinely guided. It's guided by your own soul, so in your spirit. So congratulations for really moving forward and completing a cycle in your life and starting something new here. It's a really beautiful place to be in, and I really love this reading. I think it's a really beautiful reading. So let me pull a couple of self-care cards as I always do. Do one more. I didn't like that. So it's Aquarius. June 2021. Movement. It's also a 9, and this is all like finding clarity and a direction. I do think you're moving forward. Energy work. I'll show you the cards in a sec. Let me just finish. Okay. So building strength, could be working out, but this is also working with your intuition and really connecting to that and building that muscle down here, which is also a 6. And this is also about overcoming obstacles and perseverance. Energy work, energy work. This could be chakra healing. This could be sound healing. This could be Reiki. This could be just being in the ocean, whatever. Sunbathing, moon bathing, whatever sits right with you. It's also a 2 and a 2, which is a 4, which is finding stability and finding, like, feeling stable. I knew this was going to come out. As soon as I started doing this, I said health checkup. I never get this. It's very rare I get this card, but I felt it coming out today. For some of you, maybe need to getting, because we haven't been to the doctors or checkups or blood work, just kind of seeing where you are, making sure that you're healthy. It's been a while. So if that's you and you need that, check in with that. And the movement card, which I'll show you. And I think that could be yoga, that could be dancing, that could be walking. Anything to move the energy around and keep yourself grounded is where you need to be right now. So Aquarius, I hope this resonated with you. If you connect to the reading at all, if you can like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate the support. I hope you have an amazing month of June. This is really beautiful energy. Take care of yourself, stay healthy, and I will see you in July. Take care.